Today, that he voted for the first time in his life. And I want to tell him and those others who thought it fit to lend me support that I am humbled by the experience to represent the people of San Fernando West and also to have deserved the support of first-time voters. Your mission is to keep me on my toes, and my job is to represent the views of the society that I represent. And you have my 100% commitment to do that. Have fun today. Stretch your minds. Audit things that you have not seen before. Think of things outside of the box. And think about it. After this episode, who do I want to be? And how do I get there? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Attorney General. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd just like to remind you that you must have a program with you, and if you look to the bottom right corner of your program, there is a tear-off chit that will entitle you to a lunch, courtesy the Pizza Boys group and the school feeding program. Pizza Boys, Pizza Boys? Who say box lunch? All right. Lovely. Now, before I continue on to our next speakers, I just want to make some notes. Following the Attorney General's feature address, there is something called learning experience. From my harrowing experience on the campaign trail with the Attorney General, I learned not to wear certain colors during certain seasons. That's one. Number two, if you go to the Attorney General's constituency office at any time in the next 5 years, I believe he will make available his fitness program on DVD, right, for you, or he'll put up some links, because his social media now is restricted to the business of representing San Fernando West and the business of the Office of the Attorney General. The Attorney General also spoke about attitude and passion and volunteerism. And volunteerism can only come from the right attitude, yes, and a passion for helping your fellow man. And the funny thing, volunteerism can also lead you or influence heavily your career choice. Because I started off in accounting years ago, over 15 years ago. And it's only through volunteerism in the past 8 years. 2 years ago, I made the decision and left out accounting and finance altogether, and I am into the entertainment industry full-time now, 35. So without further ado, another press brother of ours who is leading the call for decentralization of the central government. A couple of weeks ago, I saw an article in the papers. I see the Ministry of Agriculture is moving its head office to Chaguanas. I said, yes, not only is a pressman leading the charge, but a southerner is leading the charge. And on that note, I would like to invite the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, Senator Clarence Ramrat, to address you all.
Thank you very much, Faris Al-Rawi, and all always dapper, Wayne Armour, Commander Wayne Armour. Now, let me not mislead you. I have been on this stage many times for two main reasons. One, lining up prior to a good cocktail over there, and two, to debate. And that has been the story of my life. Public speaking and intermittent abuse. So I'm very happy that my colleague Faris introduced the subject of love, marriage, and relationships. It gives me a very good introduction. On the issue of career advice and life advice, let me just add my piece. To the men and women in the audience who believe that your spouse is here or in your life, let me assure you that that person is not with you today. Of advice I could give to you is to choose wisely or be chosen by someone who is much wiser than you are. Because look at my election campaign. Nobody has asked about my university qualifications, whatever thesis I did for my MBA, my work experience. The media has focused on my wife. She's beautiful. She's well qualified. She's talented. And she is the reason I am where I am today. So that's the most important piece of advice I could give you. Many years ago when I sat in that same balcony, given trouble as usual, my thought to be spouse was over in St. Joseph Convent. 27 years later, we are still in touch. And thankfully, she's not my wife. Let me also leave with you the second most important piece of advice I'll give to you. The second most important piece of advice: this college brought the Catholic Church into my life. And you may not believe it, but I remain a very strong and devout Catholic. My family is grounded in the church. A lot of my work as a lawyer is dictated by the principles of the church. And my own personal motto in life has been, to whom much is given, much is expected. So throughout my campaign, you would have seen the emphasis on social issues, building the community of Mayaro, committing to do more to restore values and decency to this country. And thankfully, we have as a leader and our Prime Minister now, a man who really and sincerely believes that Trinidad and Tobago ought to be rebuilt on the basis of community, family, and values. So do not underestimate the strength and power of your faith, whatever it may be. As I tell my constituents in Mayaro, you have to believe and you have to trust. Because there were two things that happened to me that not much people paid attention to. 3 weeks before the general election, I created history. For the first time in 59 years, a minister of government was announced before the election date. And not many people believed. And here I am today as your Minister of Agriculture because the Prime Minister said so. But more importantly, on September 11, 2015, a little sore issue in Trinidad politics was settled once and for all. I became the first human being to lose an election and be appointed to the cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago. And that was because the Prime Minister said something very simply on the campaign trail in central Trinidad. He said, our party has put forward over the years very good candidates in constituencies which are difficult to win. And when we lose those elections, we lose the value and the benefit of those candidates. And on September 11th, we finally put that aside. The Prime Minister appointed me to the cabinet, clearing the way for winners, losers, and all the good people in this country. So let me share 5 quick thoughts with you. As far as will tell you, I have enough stories to keep you here until next year. First story I want to share with you was in Form 1. We had just entered Presentation College, and the famous 1981 general election involving the ONR came on very quickly thereafter. And I was a big supporter of the ONR. I was 11. And I got the only ONR sticker I could get was one for the candidate for Oropuch, Suroj Ratan Rambachan. And I put this sticker on my physics notebook. I had to cut it in 2. Suroj Ratan Rambachan. And I got my first of many cocktails in presentation for that. Because I did not know Wayne Lewis, who was the physics teacher, was a very serious PNM in San Fernando. But you know, life has a funny way of taking twists and turns. Rambachan lost that election like every other ONR candidate. He became, many years after, my lecturer at IOB. You may not believe we became friends. And he's now my colleague in Parliament many years after. So I could talk to him. And Wayne Lewis is nowhere around to cut my tail for that. So don't let a little cocktail or interruption interfere with your agenda, because in 1981 I had long known that I was going into the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, and I'm there now. The second piece of advice I will give you is to get involved in everything, whether they welcome you or not. There are many things in this school that they wanted to exclude me from. But there wasn't a meeting, a club, a society that I didn't fit my way into, understand what they were about, and at some stage take over. And there were few that have me doing what I'm doing today. The first was the Journalists Guild. And through a guy called Peter Chinhong in Form 1. Oh boy, that's what you call a Freudian slip. In Form 1, we were producing a monthly newspaper that allowed us to eventually produce the annual college magazine. And I would say laid the foundation for my life as a newspaper columnist. And it is alleged that when I left being a columnist to be a politician, a lot of people were unhappy. That is, it's alleged. I also found my way into the debating society, welcome or unwelcome, I don't know. And much of my life in this college and elsewhere has been in debating. And may I say successfully so. And then I found my way, welcome or unwelcome or not, into Amnesty International. And got into a lot of trouble in this college for that. Because I was inviting every month all sorts of people to address us up on the sixth form block or wherever, including Makandal Daga, Kirkland Paul, just as he was released after his pardon from prison, and various people who I felt could enrich the lives of the students of this college. And I think I did a good job at it. So a lot of what you do today will define what you do tomorrow. So get involved in as many things as you have time for, whether you are welcomed or not. I want to say this to you. I don't know if things have changed, but the modern studies program in this college was hell. Everything was focused on science, and people like me who wanted to do history and English literature and business management, we had to settle for what we get. So when I was in sixth form, for example, wanting to do business management at A-levels, 6 months into the business management program, it all collapsed. And we had to switch to economics. And we started in A-levels doing geography. And as soon as the football season started, the class collapsed. And we switched to literature, which had the other half of the football team. So as much as the college tried, the modern studies program did not help me. So I journeyed to Princestown Senior Comprehensive School. Thankfully, the school pants in both schools were the same. And I never invested in one of those shirts with the monogram stitched on. If you know anything about me, I had masking tape behind my monogram, and I put it on a plain white shirt every day. So I wore the same uniform for a year in Princestown. I added to the many lessons that presentation taught me. For once I was in a co-ed school, so one didn't have to go shopping outside the bounds. And I completed the wonderful education that presentation had started to give me. So the lesson to be learned there is do what you have to do. Don't let pride or anything else get in your way. And don't be afraid of breaking up the relationships that you've forged here, because there is much more out there. The second to last thing I'll say to you is take this thing about being a well-rounded student very seriously. Mr. Friday misintroduced me at the start as Dr. Rambarat. Well, you know why? In this college, I quickly became known as Dr. Rat. Being the San Fernando version of the Laventil Dr. Rat who made her name for himself up there. And the names have stuck with me, and I've never had to go in search of a PhD because I started off with one. But well-rounded means exposing yourself to as many things as you can, because you will never know when it becomes useful. So many of us, like Faris and I and Randall, took things like economics seriously. The little bit of accounting we were taught in law school, we took seriously. I never understood why they wanted us to learn office management at law school, but when I entered a ministry, I was very happy they did. All of our career paths, me starting off in law, going through an MBA in innovation and entrepreneurship, postgraduate training in health and safety, and a life as a chartered and corporate secretary, was built not on a foundation of law alone, but on a foundation of life. And that is the most important thing when we talk about well-rounded. Throughout my campaign, if you followed my glorious campaign on Facebook, and if you didn't, hard luck. I was seen on the football field, still sweating profusely, notwithstanding. The basketball court, cricket, pitching marbles, doing anything for a vote. So well-rounded means being able to fit in, to be involved, and most importantly, to stand out in whatever you choose to do in this glorious life. I would leave you with the last and most important lesson of all. There is nothing in life like a good laugh. So when I met my wife, she reluctantly and I aggressively, the third thing I picked up about her, well, you know one and two. The third thing I picked up about her was her great sense of humor. And nothing endears like the ability to have a good laugh, notwithstanding the circumstances. So you have to know how to relax a little bit, loosen the tie. For the married people, loosen the noose, and have a good laugh at life itself. And Faris will tell you, notwithstanding the circumstances, Randall, myself, and Faris always have time for a little huddle to make a joke about something or somebody, have a good laugh, and move on. Because if you don't enjoy what you're doing, for hell's sake, stop doing it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister Rambarat. I'd like to keep the program moving smoothly because we are a bit behind schedule. Okay, and the thing is, we want you, the students, to be able to attend at least 3 sessions today. So please choose your sessions properly. Make sure you attend 3 sessions. And for those of you staying on after the lunch period, for the films, it is, a screening of the Amerindians and Buried Treasure. So, pardon me? So this is very important for the students with interest in the communication studies, Caribbean studies, and history for CAPE. So those of you staying on after, be sure to take in that screening and assist the Bocas Lit Fest in presenting itself and celebrating in San Fernando. At this point, I'd like to invite another stalwart of our annual career guidance, coming out of the military arm of Trinidad and Tobago, a commander in the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, my elder brother in Prez, your elder brother in Prez, and your elder brother in San Fernando from South. I give you Commander Wayne Amo.
To endorse the protocol that has been established by the principal and other previous distinguished speakers before me. So all protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, for the next hour and a half that I'm allowed to speak, no, 10 minutes, sorry. I want to make you a promise that for everyone in the audience, principal, members of staff, past students, presenters, ladies and gentlemen seated, I'm going to give you something to take away from what I'm about to say. My theme is hope. There's a saying that hope burns eternal in the human heart. And those of you who want to take notes, please feel free to do so, because maybe I might leave something with you that will give you hope. For those of you all who like figures and numbers, the 7th book of the New Testament is the first letter to the Corinthians. And in chapter 13, verse 13 is a well-known verse. But just work with me. I won't use the whole verse, but the verse goes like this. And there are 3 things that last: faith, hope, and love. I want to focus on hope. If there's anyone here who has read a lot about hope, studied it, bear with me because I might be using something which you know already. Let me take a little sidebar. In the military, when a military decision is made to adopt a course of action, an important part of that is to identify the 2nd order effects and the 3rd order effects. In other words, if you make a decision, what are the consequences, and what then are the consequences of those consequences? That's military thinking. If I am going to recommend to all of you, to invite all of you to look at hope, I'm going to also give you 2nd order effects. H, have a God. Whatever you conceive God to be, whatever form or name that God is, have one. O, open up your lives. If it is that you have done something today and you're doing the same thing tomorrow, then you're flatlining. Your graph needs to be increasing. Some might be exponential. For most of us, it is progressive, and that's all that we want. So to use a simple example, if in sports you play one sport, anybody here play a sport? Take a sweat, run something, hit something with a racket? Good. How many of you have started playing another sport recently? So there we go. Because there's hope. Open your lives. P. Play. Where did it come from, ladies and gentlemen, that work and play are incompatible? I'll give you an example. And I'll try to take most of you all back to not too long ago when you might have been 8, 9, or 10 years old. And you were next door playing with your best friend. And maybe your parents or your elder sister or brother came to tell you time to go home. And it was around 5:30 in the afternoon. What did you say? I'm coming just now. Not so? And then 15 minutes afterwards, you're still there playing because you wanted to stay there the whole night and play. And I'll emphasize play a little bit more. Because when you play a sport, you sometimes play on a team. And there are rules. You might play hard. You're not playing unfair. But when you play in life, you give yourself enjoyment. You bring to your soul a certain degree of fun. And nowhere is it written that what you do for work should not be what you play at. E. For some of you who might have thought, well, with all due respect, Commander, hope sounds kind of wishy-washy, you know. I already know how this hope thing going to work. Take E. Excel. Whatever you do, excel. In the military, we have a saying, I'm not saying that you have to adopt it. Winning is not something, winning is the only thing. You may not go to that standard, but that's all right. Excel in what you do. So I've given you a course of action. I've tried to define second order effects for you. Your question should well be, what then are the third order effects of what you have just said? What then are the consequences of what you have just said, Commander? And the answer is in you. Maybe next week, maybe next month, certainly in the years that lie ahead, you will all illustrate the third order effects of having hope in your life. As I conclude, and I don't think I've reached 10 minutes as yet. Anybody else timing me? 10 more? Thanks, brother. All right. As I conclude, I want all of you to just use what education is all about and critically analyze the two previous speakers and myself. Some of you may well ask, did we all three of us collaborate in what we were about to say this morning? The superficial answer is actually no, but the deeper answer is yes. For the past 26 years, all three of us have been preparing for this moment. All three of us experienced, learned, and dwelt on things and came to this moment in presentation college this morning, and there was entire consistency in what we said. The Attorney General started by looking at the theme of relevance and episodes. The Honorable Minister of Agriculture also went into life experiences. Okay? And in all of that, ladies and gentlemen, there is hope. As I leave, let me just give you a few sidebars. All great leaders, if they have to change anything, cannot do so if there's no hope whatsoever. We have just had a society go to the elections. We have also had a parliament convene and read a budget. If we did not have hope as a country, as a nation, as a society, as a people, all of that would not have any sense of goodness and truth in it. Another last point. I would like to say thank you very much to the President of the Past Students Association, their organizing committee, the principal for the excellent work that he is doing, and on behalf of the Attorney General and the Minister of Agriculture, to say thank you to these persons for the excellent work that they have done, and that we're very humbled by your invitation to be here this morning. Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your kind attention. Think of this though. The subject is not even taught here in Presentation College. But if we could produce a Minister of Agriculture, there's hope yet.
Thank you very much, Commander. Ladies and gentlemen, I would have to close on behalf of the President of the Past Students. And in doing so, I would just like to remind you all, give you all a few notes as to what is taking place today. Because this plenary session has run over time, we shall be extending our sessions so that we may finish at least 15 minutes after 12 p.m. So you would still get enough time for your sessions in between now and then. When we clear the auditorium, our tertiary institutions will be, and other providers will be setting up in the main hall here, and you will be allowed to visit them. And we ask that you conduct yourselves in an appropriate manner in movements between the hall and to your various sessions. I'd just like to remind you all, we have COSTAT, we have the University of Trinidad and Tobago, the University of the West Indies, the English Speaking Board, the Bocas Lit Fest, which is for those of you staying after 1 p.m. for the screening. That will be in the main hall as well, and Interact. Now it is very important that you're punctual in attending the sessions and treat these sessions with the seriousness and the passion that they deserve. Now at this point, we can't let you all go without giving a couple of you something to smile about. So if you would all check under your seats, a couple of you will find under the seat of your chair a chit that will afford you an IT gift courtesy one of our providers today. So I'll just give you all 30 seconds to okay, great. Now I would ask the winners to please take it to your nearest teacher. They will bring it to Mr. John, and Mr. John will liaise with either myself, Mr. Samlal Singh, or Detective Daly of the TTPS, and they will assist you in getting your prize. So congratulations to our winners. On behalf of the Past Students Association of Presentation College, I'm going to say Past Students Association of Trinidad and Tobago. well. On behalf of the Past Students Association of Presentation College, San Fernando, I would like to thank our teachers in making this event flow as smoothly as possible today. I would like to thank you, the students, for giving us the energy and the drive to keep doing this year after year after year. We started off with just our boys 5 years ago. We included our neighbors from Naparima Girls High School and St. Joseph Convent San Fernando, our sister schools. And now we have really, really undertaken our vision of being available or availing ourselves and our resources to San Fernando and environs, and we have invited more schools. I believe we have 8 schools here today, Stephen, or 6? We have 6 now. Very well. So to our new participants, welcome, and we hope to see you all next year. At this point in time, our specially invited guests, we will have a light breakfast available for you at the Brothers' Residence. And now, children, I ask that you head forward to your sessions today and please enjoy the day. Thank you.
Serious commendation has to go to the organizers of the event. Stephen has given his heart and soul to San Fernando in general. His son is an arts boy. He's the head of the department of tradition here. So all compliments as you can hear to Mr. Mitchell for hosting this event in Fernando.
yesterday he was said that the actual deficit in the budget is 21 million. It's going to find problems to bridge that shortfall because a lot of what they propose is really out of their control in terms of oil prices and so on, right? She said she's not optimistic. How do you respond to her?
This is the first time that a Minister of Finance has laid open the cards on the table. The annual budget, if you look at it from a truthful presentation, what should have been presented. Last year, we in fact had that kind of deficit. You would have seen that we reported on the year prior, demonstrating the extent of deficit, $18 billion. The price of revenue is not, the price of oil revenue is not what we're hinging everything upon. You would have seen that we have dealt with some of the subsidies in gas in particular. We have improved to the people who are most at risk the benefits which they enjoy. So it's been a very careful balance. The Minister of Finance has spoken to the manner in which we intend to close the gap, to leave the budget at a closer figure of certainly less than 4.5% of GDP. That, but we are confident that the measures to flesh out that $21 billion gap between estimated revenue and expected revenue will be there. We did peg a conservative oil price and a conservative gas price, well below what the expected amounts are going to probably pan out to be, because we have had to be conservative. Assuming that it is just at that figure, $45 per barrel or $2.75 per MMBTU per gas, even if you assume that, the Minister of Finance has already indicated that we will fill the gap, A, by way of subsidy reduction, B, by way of revenue generation through tax collection, and C, by way of asset sales, which will be particularized in the budget. So there are a number of monetary items to come into the system, which will certainly deal with that, and we will speak with it with particularity in the course of the budget.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank.
Should I see this man on the campaign? Man, roll up
I was the only one keeping pace with him, you know. Yeah, I was the only one keeping pace with him.
The running candidate, right?
Yeah. Of course, the running candidate. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before the AG News, because he has a very busy day today, presentation. Here to greet him and present
Taught me
him.
Form 1.
Yes, music and biology.
It is my great pleasure.
Doesn't she look wonderful? She looks the same way as when we had our
Thank you very much.
first day at school.
Thank you very much. Right, so.
You know, you joke about that as I see the piano playing, I had tears in my eyes literally.
Hi, can I invite you all to join us? We're just going to cut a ribbon. The vibes get done.
we have people across the board in agriculture and outside of agriculture complaining about not being able to fill vacancies. So we have to look at it, especially in the rural communities. We have to make it more attractive, we have to make it fairer, and we have to organize labor in which we can get the highest level of productivity without trying to mimic an office type of job. We can't have, if people working in farming, for example, we have to be realistic, employ them for the most productive time of the day, and be fair to them in terms of compensation and terms of employment. We have the option, of course, in the ministry of using the CPEP. We have the option of using URP, and those are going to be explored. That is not a direction that we use all across the country. But I know, for example, the pineapple farmers in Cleveland who are meeting tomorrow evening, they have said to me, and from what I know, they would like to have labor through CPEP or URP for their agriculture farms.
Could we have a contact number for you? Is this the number from you?
Yes, 3629046.
Thank you, Dr. Rat.
We invite you all to join us at the
Principal says, come on. Yeah, that's it, right. Ready, guys? Yeah.
Amen.
So what is this? One day I decided I was going to the gym no matter what. Once of this one, the whole this will continue. See you guys.
Business Presentation College Past Students Association. What we've done is with Prestige Past Students Foundation, we use the funds that we raised from Prestige to refurbish this top floor here. It's the intention that we'll be handing this over to corporates at some point in time as a rental facility, but we'd also be utilizing it for the college here for extra classrooms because the college is short of extra classrooms at the moment. So this ribbon cutting ceremony actually symbolized the handing over of this project back to the brothers of Presentation College.
Ivan, I have to look like you, People underestimate what weight does to you but in moderation.
This building,
introduce yourself first.
My name is Mr. David Missoula. I am a technical drawing teacher here at Presentation College San Fernando, and I've been here for the last 30 years. What we're doing this morning is we are opening this part of the school once again. This actually would have been the old brother's house. A lot of refurbishing work has been done on this particular building. A lot of money was spent to bring this part of the facilities and make it accessible to the students once again. So where we are right now would have been where the brothers would have resided. This would have been their bedroom areas. And you will see that there are a lot of rooms, so at one point in time as many as 7 or 8 brothers would stay in this house here through the years. Now that the brothers are no longer part of the planning of Presentation College, They're still affiliated with the school, but they are no longer in need of a building. So when they visit, they will come and stay with us, but they don't reside in the house anymore. So the house has now become available for us for the use of the students. Okay. All right, so we're going to take a tour of the completed structure. And if you walk this way, I will have 3 of my guys here come along with. So the proposal for the upstairs here would be classroom areas. As you can see, all the rooms have been well refurbished. So this is possibly going to be one of the classroom areas. We are in need of a Spanish lab. So more than likely this room may turn into a Spanish lab where they will put in the proper sound system and equipment to address the needs of the Spanish students. And again, this room before would have been, this building would have been about 70 to 75 years old, I would imagine. And you can see the amount of work that has gone into it to bring it back to some sort of integrity. So again, we have another very large classroom down here. All the rooms have been air conditioned. Proper lighting has been placed in so that you can actually work inside here. We have, I would imagine, accommodation for about 20 students in this room. By the time we get in the boards and the tables and chairs and whatever, we should be able to accommodate about 20 students in this.
Is it the normal chalkboard or felt markers you're using?
Today we are on the markers. We're using the markers, also using whiteboards and multimedia projectors, that sort of thing, to help with our classes.
Just now.
So what you're looking at there is in fact the Seasouth room, and that's their head office right now. As you would have known, we would have had a house on the wharf.
Yeah.
Since then we have lost that property. I think the property had gone to
the water taxi?
The water taxi, the building of the water taxi. I believe some promise has been given to us that we would have been relocated, but to this date we have not been. And our Sea Scouts are now confined to a room. We are hoping that we will in fact be able to change that in the near future.
What,
get
from,
back that house today.
Or is it from Sea Scouts to Land Scouts?
Well, it's apparently. So what we do is every Friday we trot down to the sea, and the guys go through the process of learning to swim and save lives, and they're doing things like rowing and that sort of thing.
Literally trot or you drive down?
Trot, we trot across there because it's too much traffic to get down there on a Friday.
Okay.
So we walk from here down there. So you would imagine we'd have something like 30 boys walking down together in line formation.
In uniform?
In uniform.
Looks good.
And when they get down there, they would change and get into their gear for swimming and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Do you take part in regattas?
Yes, the Scouts do. I am not the Scout Master, but they have a very large portfolio when it comes to the presentation Sea Scouts themselves. They're involved in all sorts of things in the college here and on a national level.
Okay.
There's a very interesting story that I would like to share with you concerning the building of the pond there, which was done to enhance the aesthetics of the house. As you would know, one of the brothers who would have resided in this house would have been Brother Michael Samuel, the late Brother Michael Samuel. He would have won the Hummingbird Medal year before last. And quite interestingly, he would have been one of the most loved brothers who would have passed through Presentation College, San Fernando. And he gave a lot of service to Trinidad and Tobago, being the principal of Presidential College for several decades. In his honor, we built a pond, as you can see outside there. This pond was done by the college prefects at Presentation College. It's a complete stone pond made out of...
it has water?
It has water, as you're seeing there, right? Probably when we go outside, you can probably get a better picture of it. But it was built by the college prefects. And interestingly, this Christmas tree that you're seeing here, just a year ago, we were looking at removing that Christmas tree altogether. But when I spoke to Brother Michael Samuel prior to his passing away, I mentioned to him that we would like to, the prefects would like to invest some time and labor in trying to light that Christmas tree for Christmas. Of course, you would realize it was a humongous task to do so. I don't think that he really believed that we could have done so. But we managed to complete the Christmas tree. Unfortunately, he had passed away then and would not have been able to see the actual lighting of the Christmas tree last year and the building of the pond. But I know it is something that he would have taken great pride in with these two particular ventures that the boys did. And again, it's all done by the Presentation College students. They contacted TNTech and they were given assistance in getting up the tree with their equipment, and they were able to put up all the lights. And now it's, I think it's a landmark at the school here, the pond. The gentleman that is at the pond here right now, he is a teacher here, and you find students and teachers get together and they maintain the pond, they clean the pond. We actually have fish that goes into the pond. We have removed the fish at this point in time because we're changing the water from the pond. But on another day you would probably see lots of tilapias and kois and that sort of thing in the pond. Also there's a waterfall system that we have there that actually throws the water, feeds the water back into the pond, creating aeration for the fish in the pond. We still have a bit of work. We would like to put some greenery around the pond and some plants to enhance the area, possibly some seating accommodation, some umbrellas that on a lunchtime the students can come and relax here and enjoy the environment. Be closer to the brothers, because we still have that very deep link with the Presentation brothers. Although we are not really assisted by them per se, Presentation College remains a very big part of the Presentation brothers, and even in the eyes of the young students, they are always informed of what is happening with the brotherhood, and they live with the spirit of Presentation College. There's something called the spirit of Presentation College that is very difficult to identify. Apparently this spirit runs the corridors of Presentation College, and once you enter Presentation College, you are affected by this spirit. And great men have been created by this spirit.
Is the Presentation Brotherhood confined to San Fernando and Shogunas, or is it a part of an international body?
The Presentation Brothers is in fact an international body based in Ireland. They have other schools outside of Trinidad and Tobago. There's a school run by Brother Robert Fanovich, who is at the Presentation Brothers in Grenada. And there are other schools around the Caribbean, the Presentation Brothers, that will be run by the Presentation Brothers. So we are still part of an organization of the brothers. As you know, we would have had Presentation College San Fernando and Presentation College Shogunas, both of which are two of the leading schools in Trinidad and Tobago, and continues to produce really great students. Our results have continued to be excellence. We have continued to perform in all walks of life. I think there's no other school that offers so many social activities for students. To give you an example, we have the Presentation College Sea Scouts. We have we have a very large music department that gets involved in a lot of plays, and these plays are shown throughout Trinidad and Tobago. It would be done at the Naparima Bowl. Sometimes we'll go to Queen's Hall with these productions, and they're very, I should say, very professionally done and can meet world standards anywhere. And this is all done by the music department. We have a very vibrant prefect body. There's no other school that actually does what we do, and I believe there are some schools who have attempted to do some of the things that we do. For instance, we have a overnight. Maybe I can ask one of the college prefects. Patrick?
Hello, I'm Antonio Ramchras, Vice Head Prefect of Presentation College. I'm Daniel Patrick, Head Prefect of Presentation College.
Another Vice Head Prefect of this college.
Who's talking first?
Well, I'll speak first. Yes, well, it has always been tradition that the presentation prefect body, we spend the night before we have the presentation day. And what we actually do that night is, it's a night of work actually. So we spend the night preparing a meal for our presentation brothers on presentation day. So we actually spend the night preparing barbecue and
also cleaning up the classrooms and stuff on the night, so it will be presentable on the day. And on presentation day, is a lunch. As he mentioned before, it's barbecue. We present it to our brothers, and that is us giving back to our college. One of us giving back.
Well, the lunch that we provide for the entire school is catered for the 800 students that are present here. But coincidentally, the project for the pond and the lighting of the tree was around the same time of the press day. So we had a lot of work and we had to split up in groups. And in the process, we got all done, which was a hard task. And people said it couldn't be done, but we got it done as a body. And it was really achieved, and everybody was surprised in the process.
Were the students involved in the preparation of the lunch?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Mainly Form 6.
Yeah, Form 6 students. That's the point of coming the night before. And basically what we do is spend the entire night preparing this meal. So that's our presentation brothers. The other day, we clean the chicken, we prepare the rice, the barbecue and whatnot, all the sauces and whatnot. And the point is that we can all sit down as a presentation family and have this meal on presentation day itself at lunchtime. So that's what we really try to achieve, the brotherhood and whatnot.
Food preparation is a subject offered at CSEC?
No, it is not. Well, not in presentation, but we do have a culinary club which targets this skills of preparing food. So we had assistance from them as well as the prefect body and the sixth form body.
Dixon Mitchell, Principal, Presentation College San Fernando.
Welcome.
Welcome. On behalf of the college, I welcome the Honorable Attorney General, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, distinguished past students, well-wishers, of course, persons from our neighboring schools to our 5th annual Caredi. I want to thank all those stakeholders who have been involved in this. We thank you on behalf of the college. God bless. Good.
In our generation, not many students of this college know how to ride a bike. Neither ever made a kite. And we'd like to give thanks to Mr. Bisoon for last year. He set a project on making a box cart, which is also was used as the bonding between father and son. This reached very far as Paradise Motorsports realized our potential and invited us to this box cart race, which is held this Saturday at Jean Bear Complex. We are the pioneers of this, and hopefully it will be some sort of box cart interval.
Yes, so what Mr. Bisoon actually tried to do was bring back some of the boyhood days that the older generation may remember and instill it into the younger generation, our presentation college. So with his Form 3 TV class, he assigned the project of designing and building a box cart, and we actually had a race here in Presentation College, which through coverage by social media went nationwide, and now Paradise Motorsport actually having a competition with presentation deemed as the pioneers of this race. So what they would like to start, maybe a presentation college tradition in the making, is now a box cart intercall perhaps nationwide, which will be held in the Jimmy Pear Complex this Saturday.
Well, this box cart race it looks like a big thing throughout the country, and it looks to carry on like that. But at the same time, we as students came together and we're going to build the box carts that's going to participate in the race. And the classes, we divided up in the Form 6, Form 3s, the TD classes, and we're all going to come together and work together to get these box carts built to enter the race that's going to come up on Saturday.
Well, what this gold badge on my chest here signifies is that I am the head prefect of Presentation College. It is perhaps the highest position that any student in Presentation College can aspire to achieve. What I'm actually in charge of is the entire presentation body, the school body, and I work in accordance with my vice head prefects, and we as a team work for the betterment of the college and actually try to revitalize the presentation spirit here at Pres.
Alright, well, I am Antonio Ramtran, the Vice Head Prefect of Presentation College. And what this silver badge here represents is that we are basically in charge of the discipline in Presentation College. And on lunchtime after the children play or do whatever, we are in charge of carrying them into their lines, distributing the school discipline, enforcing it throughout, ensuring the school runs smoothly. Also, we furthermore, as the prefects of Presentation College, we also realize that detention, right, is also very necessary in the school. And over the years, detention was just used as a period where the students will come and basically spend time as punishment. We realize that this doesn't really make any sense. So we use the detention as a means where we can make the students to a form of community service. In the process, they go outside of the school and help out in alternative ways, as in like helping out in the community, doing stuff.
People who waiting to go into a room, that's cool. But if you all could assist me with that, sure.
Hi, my name is Ronaldo Molino. I am Vice Head Prefect of this college. This is the second highest position a student can achieve. This, being a college prefect, this is the link between students and staff. Not only we do a lot of work in school, but we also do a lot of community service, where during around Christmas time, we visit the hospitals and we parang, we sing, and really give these children a wonderful Christmas. We also give gifts. Also, around a week after, we do Presentation Christmas, where we all invite all children from the San Fernando region and give them a party. We sing, we entertain them, we invite their parents too, and wonderful gifts we give them. Also, there is the blood drive, where as students enter Form 6, we encourage them to go down to the hospital to donate blood. This hopefully will be a lifelong thing where they become permanent donors of blood. So, as someone is in need, Presentation College has their back. Also, in association with concerned residents of Cunupia, we helped aid in the sending of a past student of this college, Mancini Mahadi, to North Carolina to defend his UFC title. The funds for this was achieved via Bacon Shack sales, which wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for Mr. Bisoon and his lovely wife. Also, as students leave, there's an association called Past Presentation School Body, where past students also do the same thing we do. Around every Christmas, they go to the hospitals, they visit the students, these children, and they also continue with the blood drive. Presentation College is all about the brotherhood, and we would like to carry on the tradition. Thank you.
Go ahead.
But we carry that after the period. We get the office.
Talk about the food.
So you want to go to Okay, well, what you are seeing right now is a pond that was built by the prefects last year. Also, you get a glimpse of the Christmas tree that was actually Brother Michael's last wish before he passed, to actually string and light this tree for the entire San Fernando to see. He thought this task would have been impossible, but with the help of various companies and of course Mr. Bissoon spearheading this project, we were able to accomplish this last year Christmas. Also, with the completion of this pond. The pond is obviously for aesthetic pleasure, beautify the surroundings of the Brothers Block, as well as kind of a memorial for Brother Michael. We spent several weekends. We got materials from a quarry. We got the materials from a quarry on the northern range, and the prefects, also in accordance with some construction workers and the sixth form body, were able to complete this seemingly impossible task of preparing this pond in order for Christmas.
And trying to clean the pond, well, we did have some mortality.
So it wasn't deliberate?
No, it was not deliberate at all. It was all in enhancing the area. And if you notice, the pond is actually one half of Trinidad and Tobago. If you notice the shape of it, we have the northern range to the top of there, and this coming down here to the northern peninsula, Port of Spain area. And as you come down here, you're coming into central, and you come down into the south peninsula, and going all the way down to Icacos on that end there.
Wow. So Western Trinidad we're talking about?
Western Trinidad, yes.
That's some fish in there.
There's the caretaker of the fish?
Yeah, this is the man who...
No. Me
assisting in taking care of them.
What kind of fish you have here?
Tilapia and guppies.
We have some of the red tilapia and we have some guppies.
Tilapia is good for eating.
Well, that is the idea behind it. We are actually creating food for our people by mining these tilapia.
So are you encouraging the students to come go fishing?
As a matter of fact, we are trying to encourage some of them into the tilapia farming as a form of income.
Really the heart of the curry, they are now shut up now. All the workshops in the classrooms. Our teachers, Miss Hussein.
Hi, Miss Hussein. How are you doing?
All right, thanks.
Another presentation college prefect here, Anthony Charles.
Hi, Charlo.
Charles.
That is actually a nickname.
All Charles is Charlo. Still the
So really what's going on now is students just in a little intermediate session right now where it looks like sessions have switched, so they're just moving from session to session.
Say that again. Not hear any questions. Age of retiring. Yeah, I guess that depends on the particular profession and the country, but generally speaking, around 60 to 65. But that depends on usually the country that you're working, or the company, and the benefits that it affords. So you all want to know anything about the benefits besides the money that we make or we get as working offshore? Alright, so besides a good salary, we usually have a lot of benefits working offshore, especially working internationally, right? So some of the things are you'll have a decent pension plan. You'll have
Sorry for the interruptions, but Catherine Mahadev of St. Joseph Convent, please collect your prize in the IT lab. Catherine Mahadev of St. Joseph Convent, please collect your prize in the IT lab. The IT session with CTTL is in the new block, and several prizes will be given out to attendees. They have things such as the wireless mice, backpacks, Chromecast, and a few more very exciting prizes to be given out. That is the CTTL IT session. It's in the new block, about to start at this time.
So a lot of the traditional IT systems which are prevalent in business and have been prevalent in business for many, many years are now making their way into the industrial sector. We're finding that as a lot more of the emerging bits of electrical engineering that is now becoming more and more relevant across the globe because it's a global issue. Yes, question Nico?
When you're doing your degree in electrical engineering, right? What are the components of the course?
It varies, right? So it varies from provider to provider. And it is incumbent on you, when you're choosing what degree you're doing, to actually take a look at what the content contains. What is in there? Is it strictly electrical engineering? Is it general engineering? Or are there other electives that you can include which are more of the specialized arms of engineering? So in my day, in UWI, I did my degree. My degree was called Electrical and Computer Engineering. So it wasn't just strictly electrical engineering in the power systems or the high voltage side. There was some computer engineering as well. And you had the ability to do some natural sciences courses, which were traditionally the IT type courses. So it's a good idea for you as a prospective student pursuing an engineering degree to look at the curriculum, the course content, and see what may be the electives in there that may be available to you as options. Usually in the latter part of your engineering degree.
Yes, sir. What would you like to say again?
Not that I know of. Maybe we, as I said, probably have a new program, but all we have is the terminology. But I know it's a lot of work. My sister, she went on to do it. She went to do it at Mona, and it's a lot of years. And she does it how to do it. It is, but once you want to do something in our medical field, you have to take a while. Because after years, yeah, a lot of business.
And how, like, how long would that take to
The double major in chemistry, or you just going to do the chemistry as a degree. You can do a 3-year program, a 3-year period.
Entrepreneurship and degree in financial management and those sort of things. So it gives you that specialist view. Let me give you an example. The example I'm going to give you is, I prefer not to be on camera giving the example. But the example I give is, for instance, I did a degree in management, right? And I come out and now
Hi. Please introduce yourself.
From Bocas Lit Fest, so we do the NGC Bocas Lit Fest, which is Trinidad and Tobago's annual literary festival. We have 3 festivals, 5 days in Port of Spain. We have a Tobago festival in July, and we have our San Fernando festival on San Fernando Hill this weekend. Program pay and everything, so you can save the dates as well for 2016 NGC Bocas Lit Fest. We support Caribbean writers and any students who are interested in careers in literature, in writing. We do open mic. We're a forum basically for anybody with interest in writing, reading, and sharing their ideas.
Tickets on sale or advertisement?
It's all free and open to the public, so you just come on Sunday.
Sando Hill.
Yep, these are some of the writers that we help promote for our prizes. We have 2 literary prizes, the OCN Bocas Prize for Caribbean Literature and Burt Award for Young Adult Literature. So these are some of our award-winning books, and they're major international prizes for Caribbean writers, $10,000 US for the winner.
The registration is what?
That's just to sign up for our mailing list, so you can get information from us about the festival, about different events. Cariblit is a resource for writers as well, for Caribbean writers. It's a database of all Caribbean publishers and editors. And we're doing a film screening this afternoon for students, right here in this auditorium. For
What time?
1 p.m., 1 to 2:30. It's 2 films we're showing, The Amerindians, directed by Tracy Asing, and Buried Treasure by Alex DeBertai. So they're both documentaries that celebrate Caribbean indigenous history. We talk about archaeology, about the legacy of the First Peoples of Trinidad and Tobago. Since next week is First Peoples Heritage Week. So we've got those 2 films for any students who are interested in history, Caribbean studies, anything like that. So that's on this afternoon, this auditorium at 1 p.m. And we have the director, Tracy Hansen, coming to speak to the students as well.
Education, this is the foundation of our rising population. Each generation to be you gotta have yourself.
How are you?
Enjoy any kind of happiness. Knowledge is the key. Children go to school and learn well. Otherwise, let her running. Get ready. With education in your hand. you're better off dead. For there is simply no room in this whole wide world for an uneducated little boy or girl.